This is a special edition of the Isiah Factor Uncensored, something many of you have asked us for quite some time, and that is to do a dating/single show, and that's exactly what we have for you. Now, the viewers have said, why don't you focus on the single life and dating in Houston? So tonight we take a look at 4 individuals who are out there in the trenches dating in H-Town. What are the ups and downs, and how do they make it work, or how they may strike the hell out? We will also have an expert, Dr. D. Yvonne Young, on hand to analyze their situations and give advice if they need it. We're also streaming live on Facebook at fox26houston.com, or on our Facebook page, rather, Fox 26 Houston. Now, if you have any questions for the guests or Dr. Young, you tell us those questions on Facebook Live. And now we'd like to introduce you to our single people who are here live in the studio. They're going to walk out as I call their names. First, let's begin with Betsy Cruzy. And there's Betsy coming on out. Miles Moore. Tarika Velasquez. And Shalyn Doss. We want to thank you and welcome you guys to the Factor Uncensored. Now, this is not the dating game. Even though we're using that theme tonight, we're talking about dating in Houston and being single in Houston. So first of all, let's start with your name and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Miles, love music, love to play basketball, real laid back kind of guy. So, you know, that's me.
All right, Tarika.
Oh, Isiah, I'm so nervous. I'm Tarika, and I'm striking out, as Isiah said in his intro, but live in Houston for a long time.
So, Shalyn Doss, I'm a pediatrician at Texas Children's. I grew up in Houston, love Houston sports. I guess slow walks. Oh, wait, this is not the dating game, I bet. No.
Right. All right, Betsy.
Betsy Cruzy. I'm actually not originally from Houston. I've been here for about 6 years in oil and gas and live close to downtown.
All right. Well, we want to welcome you guys to the Factor Uncensored. So let's begin with you, Tarika. I'm going to pick on you. I know you.
You said you wouldn't do that.
Well, to get you warmed up. So
Okay.
What is it like dating in Houston? Is it difficult? Is it easy, piece of cake, or what?
I found it difficult. Yeah, like I don't know where the people are. You tell me. Like I hope we're going to learn that today.
Hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully we have.
I don't know
Dr.
where
Young
they
here.
are because I wouldn't be here if otherwise, right? Yeah.
So what's difficult about it? You're not running into enough people out there in the community?
Yeah, I don't run into anybody. I mean, the people I run into, I'm going to try to be careful what I say, are like not people I'm interested in. You know, it's like nobody I have commonality with, and so nobody who has like professionalism and things like that. So it's been hard.
Okay, Shalyn?
Yeah, I think, you know, all of us are professionals. We all have our careers, and you kind of get set in your ways, too. The people you hang out with, people you go out with. So it's kind of hard getting out after a long day's work and trying to meet people, too, I'd say.
What about you, Miles? Is it difficult for you to get out there, or are there any problems with dating in Houston?
Well, no, I'm an everyday guy, so I can go to your local Walmart and just, you know what I'm saying, meet a chick at the gas station. If you see somebody you like, I just say, go talk to them and just start a conversation. So.
And is that key, starting that conversation, breaking that ice first?
It's key first as a man, because, I mean, there's so many social media celebrities now, if they want to call it, so it's hard to talk and have a conversation with somebody. So I just feel like the old way, going up and talking to a female, is better than the social media part, to me.
Now, Betsy, working in oil and gas, you have to encounter a lot of people out there in the community.
Lots of guys.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of decision overload. Like there's the apps and the websites and all of the ways to connect available, but there's also the timing thing. Like everyone's so busy just doing their daily stuff, and they may be here, they may not be here, and then you just kind of run out of options in the time that you have, and finding people that are worth your time is difficult.
So the people that you run into, are you busy or are they busy?
Well, I'm different than a lot of girls. I'm busy, and I probably actually don't want to spend time with someone if they're not busy too, because like they have to have something going on, like something, not just a halfway job or kind of a job. Like they have to have good stuff out there. But then you immediately have the issue of now you're both busy. I do think in Houston, though, not just with the apps, like there are so many options. You can talk to someone talk to someone, maybe talk to someone, and as soon as there's like the next flashy thing, the dynamics change.
So, Tarika, let's talk about standards. Do you have a certain standard for guys, and you say, well, this guy is not going to reach that standard at all, so I'm going to just have to walk away from him?
Yeah, so like a job is important. I think that it's like, I mean, goals are important. Like I think like something to do in your own time. I don't want to be the single focus for anybody. I just don't need that pressure for myself. So I definitely think like for me, standards is like you take care of yourself, you have something about yourself, like you're trying to be something with yourself. Use your time wisely.
Well, I think age is different now too. Like if you asked us all that same question
10 years ago.
10 years ago, not like it's also 2018, so it's different for everyone, but we're all a little bit older. So like what you expect out of someone is more than what a 20-something would expect. And so you're super picky.
And let's bring Shalyn back in. Are you at any point looking for someone when it comes to professional status that may be on your level? Do they have to be a doctor? Does she have to be a lawyer? What?
No, I mean, I think intelligence is very sexy, and we all, I think, would agree with that. But I think that, you know, you just want to be with someone you connect with. I don't think a professional degree or anything like that has to do with someone you connect with. So
I think it kind of does. Well, I think it goes into the whole nature versus nurture. Like, do you want to be someone, like, with someone that's like you, or very, very different, but hope there's some other commonality that you're going to work through?
So I think to Betsy's point about both being busy, I think it's better than just someone being at home.
Right.
Doing. But I think, you know, in terms of certain types of degrees or certain types of job fields, I think I personally am open to dating anyone who has a career, but it doesn't matter what career.
I thought you were going to say breathing, but...
Well, some guys...
We're almost there. We're almost there, Isaiah. We're almost there.
As far as standards for women, are there certain standards, a test that she has to pass in order to go out with Miles?
Well, teeth.
No.
Did you say teeth?
Teeth. I'm big on teeth, and then she just have to be have her mind together. It can't be crazy, because there's a lot of crazy women in H-Town.
There's a lot of crazy men too.
Just I don't know, just be stable, and she has to fulfill your needs too. You know, she could be a lady in the streets.
Leave it there.
Okay.
We want to show you an interesting factoid. Take a look at this. Feminism. 59% of men think that feminism, get this, has changed the dating rules for the better, saying dating is now safer, more enjoyable, and easier. As for single women, 63% say they feel the rise in gender equality has made them pickier about potential dates. 57% say it makes them feel more empowered in their dating life. And of course, this is our dating special here on The Factor Uncensored. And joining us now is Dr. D. Yvonne Young, and he's the author of that book right there, Break Up, Don't Break Down. And of course, we're glad to have him here on The Factor Uncensored. So, Dr. Young, you've had a chance to hear our 4 single individuals here on the show today. What do you think about it?
Thank God they're all sane. Dude, I did a tour years ago where we would have like 400 or 500 men, 400 or 500 women on opposite sides of the room. And some of the stuff that people had in mind in terms of looking for someone suitable to date, someone who actually had something to offer them, Isaiah, was really ridiculous, because people had all these expectations that made no sense when you consider what are you bringing to the table.
Now, you've had a chance to hear what they had to say, Betsy and Tarika here. You're analysts, or what do you think about what they said? Analyze what they said. Tell us what you think about these 2 ladies.
Well, both of you covered some really interesting points. I like what you said when you said, I don't want to date anybody that doesn't have a life, because if you date some desperate guy, what you're going to end up is with some man that has absolutely nothing to do but notice when you're not there. And that's called dating a potential stalker or a codependent fool. So you don't want to do that. And what I love that you brought out was that you were thinking at a higher level, like, you know what, you have to have something to offer me. And you made a joke out of it. You said a job. But being honest, if someone doesn't have something that they're passionate about, the chance of you keeping an interest in them long is going to be very,
Yeah.
very much so compromised.
Agreed.
One of the things that we heard from Tarika was not encountering a lot of people. How do you deal with that? How do you remedy that situation?
Well, first, let me comfort both of you. You don't want to encounter a lot of people.
I'll counter anybody. Right?
Well,
like, it doesn't have to be.
hear this is serious, and especially for women. The thing that you want most, as you start climbing the ladder, the air gets thinner and thinner, meaning that the people that can relate to you are going to be less local and probably more proximal to you regionally or even nationally. The more successful you are, you need to find someone that has matched your passion for what you do by them being as involved, Isiah, or as committed as you are about the thing you love. They need to find something that they likewise love to the same degree. Now, when you date people, have a reason in mind. Most people go out on a date simply because they just don't have anything else to do. Seriously, they just are sitting around the house, sitting up smoking, drinking, doing whatever, going through the phone, picking someone to see who will call back or who will respond to that little hey you sent out on Facebook. The truth is, you need to have in mind, why am I even going out with you? And it's okay to ask people, why did you pick me? Because if they picked you just because you got some curves in the right spot, or you get give the appearance of being able to get an approval code for 4 figures, 5 figures on your card, you probably don't want that person as an interest.
Now, Tarika, do you have any questions for Dr.
Yeah, I do, because I understand what you're saying, but then how do you get to that point to where even the picking part?
Here's some things that you can do. First, if you are dating online, always do a little bit of homework. What's on someone's Facebook page should match to some degree what's on their LinkedIn page. It should also correlate with what's on their Instagram page. In other words, if you look on Facebook...
First, we got to get her on social media.
So, wait a second, Isiah. This is not about me.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah,
I have a
honestly,
MySpace.
You can do a lot of research, though, without being on
MySpace?
social.
MySpace, you and I need to have a long talk.
Are you charging me by the hour? I don't know if I can afford it.
Every 15 minutes.
Continue the
But the
last
truth
45
of it is,
seconds.
and this last little soundbite, I want you to really hear this. Vet people. Make sure that there's a consistent presentation. If you have met them online and they've got pictures of them with their puppy, pictures of them always with other people, say, you know what, I got an idea. Why don't we Google, go ahead and do a Google chat or do Facebook or do some medium where you can actually see the camera. And if you see his mother in the background saying, Junior, clean up your room, that might be a bad sign.
Factor Uncensored, this very special edition, the single life in Houston, the dating special. Now, let's take a look at these statistics. Number one turn on for single men were female entrepreneurs, and 71% of men find it attractive when a woman offers to split the bill. And so now we have Dr. Yvonne Young here again with us, and he's talking with the fellas tonight on the Factor Uncensored. Your time to take a look at what they said and analyze it and tell me what you thought.
Well, the first thing that I like that both these guys are doing is saying, let's be real. Miles made this comment. He said, you know, I can meet a woman at the store. I could just be at the grocery store and meet somebody. Well, that might be a good sign, because that at least tells you that she buys groceries. You know what I'm saying? And that she, well, I know that sounds really trifling, but you would be surprised how many people have zero domestic skills. And I don't mean someone is supposed to be your handmaid and fetching stuff for you, but you do want to look for qualities in somebody that really matter to you. One thing that Shaylin said that I really liked was, I do not expect you to do what I do, but please do something, be doing your thing. And it's very important that when you date people, they're not sitting around waiting on to live vicariously through you, especially when you have a six-figure profession, or you have a licensed profession or a high-profile profession like Isiah. You have to be very cautious, because the same things that make you attracted to somebody later can backfire and make you run like hell from them.
Now, one of the things the doctor said here on the Factor was that it felt like you're not looking for someone who's a doctor or a lawyer, and you could be satisfied with someone who's just loving you. Yeah. Is that a possibility? And is there anything wrong with that?
Well, first of all, let's be realistic. You don't want to have spent all this time positioning yourself to have a certain lifestyle and a certain platform that you want to operate from to bring Boo Boo the Fool on as a partner. Because what happens when you can't answer that call? What happens when you have to go to an event, deal with your colleagues, and this person is with you, and they say something like, damn, they ain't got no French fries? I mean, that is not who you want with you. So you want to make sure that you get the pairing appropriate, like with wine. You don't want to mix cheap wine with great food.
Also, let's go to dating rituals, Mark, if we can take a look at that on the screen here on the Factor Uncensored. Now, let's take a look at this. This says 95% of men in favor of women asking for a man's number, 95% in favor of women initiating the first kiss, and 93% in favor of women initiating sex. And that's Dating Rituals from Match Indiana Bloomington University study. When you look at a study like that, does that make it easier for men or easier for women?
That study is delusional in one sense. And I'm not saying it doesn't have its value. But who did you talk to? You talked to a bunch of kids at a college campus in order to get your information, so correlation does not infer causation. And what I mean by that is simply this. You want that to be special to you. But if you find out later that the lady that is the object of your affection or your attention has been going around asking guys for their numbers all the time, all of a sudden what meant something that had substance to you no longer has the same value. I caution men and women to get out of these cookie-cutter mindsets thinking, well, if you like this, you're cool. How about you just be authentic, be transparent, and don't be full of what the bull left in the barnyard, and you will probably be okay.
Now, do you guys have any questions for Dr. Young?
Miles, you go ahead first.
I go first. Well, you from Houston, right?
I've been here long enough to call it home.
Okay,
So.
I would just say, I mean, if you did it respectfully and just be honest, I think if you're single in Houston, it could be a good dating experience because it's so widespread and it's diversity. I mean, you can have fun if you just tell the truth starting off and then just be responsible.
And let's get you in because we got about 40 seconds left.
Sure. So what's the, we had this discussion in the break. What's the youngest a guy in their 30s, what's the youngest age you think a guy in their 30s can date?
Long as you don't end up having the sheriff's department at your house. But to be honest, you need to date by competency and, of course, do what's legal and what's just in terms of the eyes of the law. But date someone by their competency and by their character and worry about the other parts later.
All right. We want to thank you guys for coming on the Factor Uncensored.